Hello. I'm not in my kitchen, obviously. I'm in my parents' kitchen. Now, you would have seen the last video where I talked about storing the fruitful harvest. In that case of that video, I was storing the cherry plums that I've been picking off my tree over the last couple of weeks and freezing them. I was going to make jam out of them. Now, I'd frozen them at my house. I brought them to my folks' place because I've only got a wood fire oven and it's summer and it's just too hot to have a wood fire oven going for a few hours because it heats up the whole house, and it's hot enough as it is in Australia at the moment. So I was going to do it here in air-conditioned comfort. Now, I brought the plums here, and my mother, being the lovely woman that she is, made the jam herself. So I was going to film it and show you the video, but it's already been done. So the best thing I can do is just go through a quick process of what she actually went through. So we had the plums, and I probably had about 3.5 kilos of plums. Now, relatively speaking, sugar and fruit in most jams is pretty much equal. If anything, there's usually more sugar. Now, I generally go on a 50-50, so I weighed I would have weighed all of the plums. Say it was 3 kilos, I would use 3 kilos of sugar. Put them in a big saucepan, the plums themselves, splash of water, brought them down until they started to break up, and then I would have added the sugar and then just cooked it from there. Now, what I quickly want to go through, sugar plums, they're obviously small, cherry plums some people call them. Now, every one of them's got a seed, so it's a real palaver to take the seed out. You can cook them down on their own and then put them through a sieve or a colander and get rid of the seeds and then put the sugar in. That's a big palaver as well. Whichever way you go about it, any small stone fruit, it's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt to make fruit out of. So what I'm going to do is just quickly show you. So we had the plums, 3.5 kilos of plums. We used 3.5 kilos of sugar, splash of water in with the fruit, added the sugar in, had it on a low simmer until it all started to cook down. Now, what you need to look for then is that it's actually setting. You can use a product like this. My mother's pretty keen with jams on using this. It's called Jam Setter. There are different products as well. Now, I don't use this myself, but it is really good. It guarantees a nice, thick, good consistency jam. Now, all I would do is just read off the back. Now, all I've got here is that they've got 1.5 kilos of fruit, say apricots, 1.5 kilos of sugar, like I said, the 50-50 ratio, and half a cup of water, splash of water. Then that's what I use, and then you just add 50 grams of this Jam Setter. Now, it's really easy, so if you're a bit worried about making jam, I haven't made it before and I don't want to waste all my fruit, get a pack of this. It's only a couple of bucks and it's really easy to use. Read the instructions on the back, put it in, you can't go wrong. Main thing with jam is when you're cooking it, keep it on a low heat all the time. It might take a couple of hours to actually cook down and reduce to a jam consistency, but you don't want to burn it. If you burn the base and burn the fruit, that burnt taste will permeate the whole lot and it'll be a waste and it'll end up just going out into your compost bin. So just keep it on a low heat. Don't get impatient and think, I'll just turn up the heat just to keep it going and get it done quicker. Just leave it on the low heat, alright? Now, those 3.5 kilos thereabouts of fruit that I had made 8.5 jars, pretty much like this. Now, this is the actual jam that my mother's made. So I'll just show you. When you're actually cooking the jam, you need to check the setting for it. Once it's gone quite thick, you can get some out on the spoon. Now, it doesn't work exactly on this because it's already made, but when it's cooking, when it's hot, take a bit out, put it on a saucer, like that. And because it's hot, it'll just bleed out everywhere. And what you need to do then, use a spoon. If it's hot, I'm just going to use my finger. When you run your finger through it, it should separate, like that. See? When it's not cooked, as soon as you go to run through it, it'll bleed back into itself again. It's too runny. So always make sure that you can actually run your finger straight through it. And it should leave a line like that. See how it hasn't gone back in? So that's set. So that's fine. And that's it. I really wish I had been able to do the videos for you, but I do have like 6 now. She's given 2 away. 6 jars of jam, which are really nice. Now, the good thing with plum jam too, The fruit will be a nice light yellowish colour. As it cooks, it's a good indication of how it's cooking because it'll go this nice deep red colour too, which is lovely. Now with jams, you can have a sweet jam, obviously on toast and sandwiches, whatever, scones, whatever you like. If you want to have a spicy plum jam for like chicken dishes and pork dishes, when you're cooking it, as soon as it gets that consistency, you can just throw in a little bit of shot of like soy sauce or Worcestershire sauce if you like Worcestershire, a little bit of chilli, some crushed garlic that's already been cooked off. Put that through and it'll just make it a savoury jam. So really nice on chicken dishes and pork dishes. And that's it. Easy. Now, the seeds have been left in there, which is a bit of a pain, but it's really nice jam. She's done a really good job, so thanks to Mum for making that for me. And that's it. So any questions, just remember, when you're making a jam, weigh your fruit. Now the same weight, say it's 2 kilos, the same weight of sugar, so 2 kilos of sugar, and then just add, if you want to add, you can add a setting agent like this jam setter, which is really good. So if you're a bit unsure, just use one of these. After about 45 minutes or so, when it's starting to get thick, it'll stick to the back of the spoon. Take a bit out, run your finger through it. If it's still running into each other, like you're not getting a pathway through there, if you can see that. If you're not getting a pathway through there, keep cooking it down until you get that kind of consistency. Take it off the heat, let it cool down a bit, sterilise some jars. Now the easiest way I know to sterilise jars is just to put them through the dishwasher on a cycle without any soap. You can clean them first in the sink or do whatever, put them through a cycle on the dishwasher just without any soap, so it's just the hot water. Take them out, let them dry, just air dry, don't dry them with a towel or anything like that. Put your jam in, put the lid on, and there you go. That's really nice. I'll come back in a couple of weeks. I've got some apricots at the moment too and some apples coming through which are nice. So I'll save them and I'll go through the process of those too. But that's plum jam. Easy. Any questions, just give me a yell here, alright? I'll see you soon.